Well, guys, just want to come on here and give you guys a quick. I've been getting a lot of questions about what my group is, and what it's about. Obviously, I put plays in there, I do all that other stuff, but it's mainly about managing your bankroll, right? Let's say you have $100, right? That's going to be your $100. Try to stretch it out from Monday all the way to Friday. Don't gamble with money you don't have, and that was my biggest mistake when I first started doing all this stuff. Be responsible. Most people don't lose sports betting because they can't pick the right winners. It's just they don't have, they lose their bankroll. They don't have the funds to play, or they're playing with funds that, they don't have, or they're overdrafting. Because when I first started, that was my biggest mistake. I was doing a whole lot of stuff, like don't play with money that you need to eat, pay your bills, car note, rent, all the other stuff. Don't do that. I get it, that money looks good when you want to win it. $25 can get you what, 2-3 grand or $800. It's a quick come up. Sports betting on sports and all this other stuff, gambling in general, excuse me, is very risky. But you got to be responsible in doing it. The biggest mistake is people place bets. They place is playing too much on one play, if that makes sense. Let's say I'm gonna go ahead and put $80 on a 4 or 5 man lineup or a 2 man lineup to get me, I don't know, $800, and then you flex it, you power play it, whatever, and you lose. When you could have broke it up, when you could have broke that $80 up and played 10, 10, 10 to win at 200, 300 to slowly progress your way up. You didn't have to put that whole $80 on that bet. That's just you being greedy. You cannot be greedy. All right. So the goal is not the goal in sports betting isn't getting rich in one night. That's not the goal. The goal is being disciplined and being consistent with your bankroll. Throughout the time you're playing, you gotta understand, you got to think long term, long term about gambling. Gambling's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for a while. So long term, and think of this like as your second job, but you're having fun. Before I started doing all this stuff, I was doing sports betting for the fun of it. But then I'm like, I'm at work, and I said, hey, 40 hours, Tuesday through Friday, when I can make $800 in an hour, right? So I started thinking about it that way. Like, I no longer care about winning. I do, but it's not a big thing unless you can establish consistency of winning between 800, 500, $600. Why not be at some point? You got to be happy. You got to be satisfied. You can't be too greedy about anything. Another thing is, when you start losing, don't get emotional. That's one of the biggest things. People get emotional, they get stressed out, and that turns into rage betting. Don't rage bet. Don't have to, just because you lost, um, you don't have to go ahead and put in 3, 4 more picks, to lose again. You're just going to stress yourself out even more. Um, Understanding that losing streaks are part of sports betting. You just gotta learn how to, like I tell everyone, you just gotta learn how to take the L's. You gotta learn how to take L's and move on. It's just, there's always tomorrow. That's the way I look at it. It's always tomorrow. The goal isn't winning every bet. It's protecting your bankroll, and that's the most important thing. But if you guys got any questions, just hit me up in my DMs or whatever. I'm gonna put that QR code somewhere on this video. I gotta figure out how to do that, but I'm gonna put it on the video. And you guys can join the group and stuff like that, where I put my plays, my picks, my parlays, and if you need help or anything like that, getting up there, just hit me up. Appreciate you guys.